Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode number 12 of the Talkin podcast. Today, we're joined by Cape Breton Eagles, Cam Squires. And Cam, thanks for coming on the pod.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
We'll just start off with how your season went. You had 30 goals and 67 points in 64 games, and just touch on how you feel you did this year.
Yeah, it was good. It was a bit of a roller coaster. Kind of coming at the start of the year, we had another new coach. That was my third coach, and going into my second year, and obviously the team was, kind of in a bit of a rebuild. So we had a mix of young guys and older guys. So, we had the first overall pick and a lot of other good rookies, but the team did well. Like we produced. Got off to a rough start, but then, kind of around Christmas, we started to take off, and the team overall had an okay year, but we got better as it went on. We took steps in the right direction, and come playoff time, the series versus Halifax wasn't really the outcome we wanted, but that's how it goes in that time of year, and it didn't feel like a sweep for sure, and we played some good games. We thought we should have had better outcomes, but the team had a good year, and I feel myself in the same direction. Took a lot of steps. There's a lot of areas I needed to get better at, and I felt I hit a bunch of goals, and I'm really happy with the way it went.
Yeah, in that first round, you guys held your own too. You had them on the ropes a little bit in a few games, and the future's bright in Cape Breton, that's for sure. But we'll switch gears a little bit here to obviously your brother Jacob, playing in the queue with him, and not even just the queue, but your whole life. Like, what was it like just playing at such a high level with him?
Yeah, we were obviously very fortunate to kind of have my first year in Cape Breton spent with him. Like you said, growing up, we got to kind of play together here and there with some tournaments and different leagues. But obviously, it was special just because, growing up with a brother, sharing the same passion is huge for us. Being able to, train together and shoot pucks together, grow up doing that, and then having the opportunity to come in at 16 and play with him, who he was in his third year in the league, and him being able to kind of lay some of that experience and wisdom on me I was obviously very fortunate for that. And I'm pretty pumped the way that year went. Obviously the team struggled, but me and Jake had a lot of fun and created a lot of special memories for sure.
Yeah, and when you guys played against each other, you try to, if you're on the same line, or like when you're playing against each other, you guys do a little extra horseplay or what, or just kind of?
Yeah, like, at the start of this year when Jake's with the Islanders, and I was with Cape, we matched up probably 2 or 3 times, and it was pretty special looking across the ice and whatever it was, Canada, or just lining up for the face-off to see him over there. And it didn't even feel like a real game, or that competitiveness is always there, but it was definitely fun for sure, just looking across and seeing him lined up there, and being able to finish the hit on him a little bit late, or give him a slash on the laces. It was pretty cool for sure.
Yeah, that's wicked.
So you have your draft eligible year this year. Just what's your thought process going into the NHL draft, being ranked 68th by TSN's Craig Button?
Yeah, it's pretty special. And you go through the year, and the years fly by once you hit a certain point. But obviously, you just want to stay focused. And for me, I think it was just taking it 1 month at a time, not really rushing anything. And obviously, there's all those rankings and the noise around the draft coming up throughout the year. And you just want to be able to kind of focus on your game and focus on getting better, because you can't get caught up in that stuff. It's so public and so vital to keep your head out of it. But obviously, it was special to be ranked and here and there in different positions. But leading up to the draft, I'm pretty confident, and just really sitting back, enjoying the whole experience, because you play hockey since you grow up just to love the game, and you watch the NHL every day, and to have the opportunity to be able to hear my name called by a team that I grew up watching is pretty special, and I'm pretty grateful for that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. That'd be crazy. And that'll be coming up in another month, so would you be heading down to Nashville, or are you staying put?
Yeah, I think the plan is to go down. Me and my family are going to head down, and everybody in my family's, my mom, my dad, and my 2 brothers. They're pretty big hockey people, and I think they'll go down. They'll have just as much fun as I will. Nashville's a big country music spot, and everybody in my family loves country music, so they'll have a blast down there too with me.
Yeah, not even the hockey part. That would just be a great experience. Yeah. Switch gears again to I guess we'll go last year. What was your welcome to the QMJHL moment? Like, what moment stood out to you, like on a draw or anything like that? What was your eye opener?
Um, there's definitely a few. I'd say kind of on the more negative uh, side of things. There's probably lining up for a face-off in my first game against Elliot Desnoyers. He was the captain of Halifax last year, and it was my first game on the road. And you know, it was the last minute of the second period, I think, and we just tied things up. And so, we kind of put the fourth line out there thinking it was going to be, just a wash of a shift. I just remember losing the draw and then chipping it in and the puck being in the back of our net before I could even, turn around and get the back check going. So it was pretty eye opening there for that experience, just to be able to, see that the level that those guys are at, they're 20 years old, and I'm pretty sure Zach LaRue would have been on the other wing, or Jordan Dumais. So those guys are obviously really great players. And, being able to line up against them at 16 years old, it was an eye opener that you can't take a shift off or anything. You really got to hold your own. And that was one there. And then just one thing on the more positive side was probably second half of the season game versus Chicoutimi. My first QMJHL hat trick. It was pretty special for me. Obviously, I was playing with great line mates, playing with Ivan and Peter Repchik at the time, 2 euros, and I was paired with them, and we made a lot of special things happen. But that would have been something that the puck was going in. It was on my blade at the right time, and that was obviously an eye opener for me. That hey, I can be a good player in this league, and just kind of started to do that. So those are a few experiences for sure.
When you went up, you would have been grade 11, and it would have been the year after COVID, so the fans would have been back in, would have been really energetic. So that would have been pretty, I'd say, pressure. Some, yeah.
Yeah, so you were fortunate enough to play 14 games in the States with Bishop Kiersey. Just what can you take away from your experience playing for them and moving forward that you can take away from it?
Yeah, my experience at BK was pretty special for sure. Obviously, it's not too common to go down to the States in your draft year, but some kids, especially being from PEI, but it was something that I wanted to do. I was kind of looking to take a look at the schools down there, and maybe take a look at the NCAA route, and it was in the middle of COVID, so obviously it was a tough experience for me and my family, just myself moving away from here, a long time away, just in Rochester, New York, and but we came to the decision that it was best for me, and I got down there, and they were finishing up some renovations on the dorms and the gym and the rink, so it was all really good. They have really nice facilities, really good people, really good coaches and stuff. So, not a bad thing to say about that. But playing 14 games, it was different. We were traveling on the bus, and that was probably the first time in my hockey career I was on the bus traveling to different states every weekend just to play games. And I remember the first set of games was I think it was a 3-3 on a weekend as soon as we got there, and we were getting dressed in the hotel and then putting our skate guards on, driving over to the rink, and then hopping on the ice just because of the COVID. And we had to wear masks underneath our cages and stuff. It was pretty weird, but at the same time, it was fun. And, it was an eye opener for sure about how great the talent is down there and the speed of the game. And it was a step up for sure. It took me a few games to adjust, and went from there. And then COVID rolled around, and I got COVID, and the whole dorms had to kind of be sent home early for Christmas break, and that's when I came home.
Yeah, and you would have went to the Mount, played that rough season against just Knights and the Wild and the other Mount teams, and just what was that COVID Cup like, and just playing in such circumstances?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, we had the opportunity with a group of young guys that were just on the ice every day, getting better and practicing, and then playing against, like you said, the Knights and the Wild. So there's those two major midget teams where at the time they would have had 2003, 2004, 2005 players. And, our Mount team, the U17, we also had a U18 team that was older, but our team we were really good. We were skilled, but we were young at the same time. So it was an eye opener for us because, we were out there, a bunch of 15-year-olds, just trying to get drafted, just trying to get better every day. And these other teams had, 16, 17-year-olds. And so there's a few rough games, but, we played really well, and we had a lot of fun, and we worked hard in the gym and worked hard on the ice. So I can't remember the exact number, but there was probably 15 or 12 or 15 guys drafted to the queue that year off our team. It was a very high number, and a lot of good players who are still playing at a high level and are going to continue to do so. So that year was the best of both worlds, really, for me. Just being able to play at BK for the first half, see the NCAA route, and then go to the mountain and check out the Q route and get seen by some scouts there.
Yeah, and what was it? So at Bishop Kearney, I forget his name now, but you would have been a teammate with. He's on Cape Breton now, I'm pretty sure. I don't recall his name, but yeah, okay, yeah. And so you guys probably have a little bit of a bond when it comes to that, eh?
Yeah. So that's kind of where I met Will. Grew up really playing against him every second year. It would have been because he's a year younger, but he's from the Valley and he played on those Valley Wildcats teams growing up, and he's a really good player. He always was, strong skater and a good shot. And then met him down there, and there's only two, not American positions per each team, so there's a very few limited amount of Canadians down there, and you kind of get to be close with those guys just because that's where you're from, and you meet with them. And I was fortunate to meet him down there, and he was playing on the younger team, and he had a great season there. And I think the following year too, he set some records. So, and then he came and got drafted to Cape Breton, and I was actually in the Toronto airport traveling when he got drafted, and I texted him right away, and we got close, and we talked throughout the summer and skated a few times, and then he came into camp, and we're actually spent the whole year as billet brothers. So he's been a good billet brother. He's a really chill guy, and he's going to be a really good player in the queue for the next few years too.
Yeah, that's wicked.
So we're gonna play a little game now. We're gonna do this or that. We got a couple questions. Yeah, we'll just start it off. BioSteel or Gatorade?
Gatorade.
CCM or Bauer?
Bauer.
Bottle popper or bar down?
Bottle pop.
Chicken and rice or pasta?
Chicken and rice.
Driving or walking?
Driving.
That's all we got.
Perfect.
Perfect. Oh, yeah. Obviously, we're in the off season now. We have been for a little bit, but coming into the warmer months, what is your off season looking like in the gym, on the ice? What's it looking like?
Yeah, so normally it's a mix of just kind of the teams giving you plans, and normally the teams are pretty trustworthy of the guys to go home and get back in shape and stay in shape. But obviously rest is so important nowadays. So being able to take some time off after the season for me was huge. I took my 2, 3, 4 weeks off and rested up, and now I'm back into training here this week and moving forward. So I trained at Synergy. It's a great group of guys. There's a lot of good pros that train there as well, and being able to be in that environment is huge for me. Just picking their brains and watching how they go about their business is definitely something that I'm fortunate to be a part of. So it's just a mix of being in the gym, working on strength, shooting pucks, making sure my shot is getting better, making sure my mobility stays up to date, and also just doing other stuff, being active, going to yoga, getting better at a lot of things that my game can get better at. It's really just an ongoing process. During the year, you want to work on your skills on the ice, and you want to work on your compete, and then during the season, you just touch up on some of those stuffs like skating, stick handling. All that stuff can never be too good at. Like the best players in the world, they're going home and they're working on their skating stuff. So you can never take a step back, because the margin or the gap to get better is so slim as you go up higher and higher. So you really got to take advantage of that stuff and make sure your sleep and your eating is up to habit, and make sure all that stuff's looked after.
Yeah, you must enjoy the grind, eh?
Yeah, no, it's fun. You get to it doesn't nag you and stuff once it becomes part of your life, and it's just a routine now. So it's I'm happy to be able to do this every day, and hopefully continue to do so as I get older.
So you guys the Eagles are given like helmets and gloves and all like stuff like that, but you guys get to pick your sticks and skates. So what are you rocking this year for sticks and skates?
My skates were actually the Hyperlights this year. We got them customized. We can put our number on the tongue, and then it just gets molded, and then it's pretty much a blacked out skate or gray for us. Then my sticks, actually, most of the guys use CCM, but I use the Bowers. I just have always grown up using Bowers, so we got something worked out, and I'm using the gold hyper lights. They're actually really nice. They're custom, and I really like them a lot.
Well, that's sick. Then kind of similar to the off season, but we're going in season. Like on a Saturday game day, what would that look like for you, start to finish?
Yeah. So Saturday, 7 p.m. game day. At home, it'd be, wake up probably around 9 o'clock or so, head to the rink, and probably around 10 o'clock we'd have meetings. We'd go through our 5-on-5, and then our penalty kill and our power play. And those meetings, we come home, and we normally, for me and Will, we eat usually around 1 o'clock. We eat chicken, sweet potato, and green beans. Just the meal that our billets make for us, and I've been eating it for 2 years now, so it's kind of routine. And then normally take a nap in the afternoon for 2 or 3 hours, depending upon how you feel. And around 4:15, I head to the rink. And actually, this year I was driving, guys, so me and Will would go pick up Ivan, and then we'd grab Thomas Lavoie too. They live pretty close to us, so there'd be a car full of us rolling into the rink around 4:30, 4:35, and then we go in and take our stuff off in our dry stall, put on our gitch. A lot of the boys usually tape their sticks as soon as they get there. Different places. Some guys do it in the dressing room. Some guys do it in the lounge, up in the stairs, up at the top upper bowl of the rink. Like, there's different spots. Normally I find a spot in the rink. I'm pretty relaxed with my routine, but at the same time I like having one too. So not too superstitious, but I kind of keep it similar. And then game time or warm-ups, off ice warm-ups around 6 o'clock, and then on ice warm-ups are about 6:30. And then so I'm pretty relaxed. A lot of the guys, some guys get ready 20 minutes before the puck drops. So a lot of the guys, like you guys would see, boys go on the bench and just sit on the bench and talk and throw pucks or whatever. I go on the bench about until like nine minutes left before warm up, and then I go get changed, and I usually start getting ready with 7 minutes to go before warm up. So pretty relaxed. Like, I get ready pretty quick, but it's I just keep
close.
it. Oh yeah. I like just kind of getting ready pretty quick, and then run right out into the ice as it goes. It's done it a few times, so in the last 2 years, so I've gotten it down pretty pat.
And when you guys are heading to the rink, you guys busting tunes?
Oh yeah, I'm a big country music guy, like I said, so I normally rock that. But sometimes the boys play some Motley Crue or whatever, get the boys going.
We're gonna do another little mini game here.
Yeah.
Best or worst?
Yeah.
Who has the best and worst style on the team?
Oh, definitely Will Shields definitely has the best style, and then I'm gonna say Shortle, worst style.
Who has the best flow?
Best flow. Probably gonna be Will Shields again. I mean, that kind of ties into his style. That's all a part of that. Worst flow. Oh, Braden Schmidt.
Who was the best and worst driver?
Oh, I'm gonna say worst driver is probably Henderson, Cam Henderson. He's kind of crazy on the roads, but the best driver probably Jacob Newcomb. Keeps his car pretty clean, stores it away in the summertime.
Oh.
That's rare,
who has
too.
the cleanest and dirtiest stall?
Oh, I'd say Jude Campbell has the dirtiest stall. And then the cleanest. Oh, I'd go with Jacob Newcomb, cleanest stall.
Who was the best and worst teammate to sit beside on the bus?
Oh, I'd probably say, the worst would be Luke Patterson. I mean, the rookies kind of double up, so the best to sit beside, I'd probably take Shorty, Connor Shortle.
Who has the best and worst facial hair?
Oh, I'd say Bigs. I like Zach Bigger's little muzzy during the season. I don't know if he still rocks it, but he was rocking it pretty hard there for a bit. And then, Shields. Will Shields had a scruff muzzy during the year too. Towards the end of the second half, he didn't really care too much to shave it, so it was pretty dirty.
Who has the best on and off ice style? Who has the
On and
best
off
off ice
ice.
style?
Yeah. I'd say Ivan. Ivan had a good style. He had that European style. He's always rocking these unique combos, whether it was tracksuit or pants or something. And he had some nice shoes too. And obviously on the ice, he had some good style. Pretty standard skill guy style. Worst on and off. Oh, definitely Henderson. Throwing him under the bus a bit, but he's always rocking the track pants. Just the track pants, and then on the ice he's ripping a different tape job every time. It's pretty funny.
I've seen a pattern though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Same guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone has their motivators. Everyone looks up to someone. And who would you say in your eyes keeps you going every day? Who do you look up to?
There's definitely been a lot of people in my life that have helped me get where I am. My mom, my dad are both huge motivators of me, as well as my brother. So just say a mix of my family. Obviously my dad as well. He's been somebody that's kind of coached me growing up throughout the levels and novice, peewee, and Adam. We've had some really good teams over the years, and he's somebody that has always been there for me and helped me develop my game, but at the same time, help me become the person that I am today, and just help me with life skills other than hockey. And if there's anything that if there's any time or any place that I needed somebody to talk to, I know that he's always there to give an ear to listen and a hand to help too. So definitely him.
What was your favorite on and off ice moment this year?
On ice and off ice. I'm gonna start with on ice, or yeah, I'll start with on ice. It was probably for me. It was definitely, I forget what month. It was probably in March or February. We had a game versus Shawinigan at home, and we were actually, it was a back and forth game. It was a bit of a ping pong match. They went up one, we come back, and then they go up, and then we come back. So I think it got to the last 17-minute mark. I came out of the penalty box, and I kind of grabbed the puck out of the air and skated down the wing and shot it far side, and it went in. Actually kind of surprised myself a little bit, but scoring it from out there, and then they come back down and score with like a minute left, and then that game went into late overtime. It was 3-on-3. 3-on-3s are always fun. It was kind of like the first time in the second half we had a really packed barn, and the fans were into it, and it was a big game. And it's just one of those games that the emotion was going, and we really wanted to win. And I think we were coming off 2 wins already, so we really wanted this third in a row. And I came down the wing on kind of my off wing, and I just kind of pulled the puck in all around the face-off dot, and it almost tipped off or ramped off the defender's stick and went far corner. And I was just pretty surprised once again, beating the goalie from that far out twice in a row. And it was nice because it was Remy Delafontaine, who was our goalie last year. So being able to score 2 on him, and then I actually did the heartbreaker celly that day too, which was pretty funny. All the boys were
Nice.
talking about what celly they wanted to do. So getting the overtime winner, it felt suiting to do that one.
It definitely the Bedard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Off ice moments, I'd say. Oh, we did a Boston Pizza charity event, and that was kind of towards something that was pretty cool. We were able to be servers. Our whole team kind of shadowed one of their servers, and we all did different jobs, and just being able to get away from the rink for an evening and just go and do that and see all the kids who went in, and it was just sold out table after table. They were coming in, and being able to just live that experience and serve these people was fun. And all the fans were in there, and all ages 10 to 7 years old, they were in there, and they had fun, and we took pictures and signed autographs. So that was a fun experience for the team.
And speaking of that, we've seen you won the QMJHL prestigious humanitarian trophy. And a little bit in that video that they released, they were talking a little bit that you ran like a business from when you were a kid till
Yeah.
now. You just want to speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, so getting that award was pretty cool for me. Obviously, it's prestigious, and I was very grateful and had the support of a lot of good people to get that. And then the business, like we talked about, it was kind of something. I was probably 12 or 13 when I started. I was just curious, and I wanted to try something new, and me and my mom kind of came up with the idea to maybe make some t-shirts and sell them. So it started off with that in a batch. We made whatever it was, 50 t-shirts, and made a logo and put it on a shirt. It was called Pure Athlete Apparel. We sold them to, basically, starting off, it was just friends and family, really, and then everybody kind of had good reviews about it. So we took it off, and we went from there, and we kind of came out, and we partnered with Source for Sports there for a bit, and they came out with a website, and we released more. We released hoodies and hats and sweaters and different types of stuff available for order online, and then we ordered them in after, and it was great. It ended up really well. A lot of people bought it, and you know from the start, we were able to donate probably around, forget what it was. It would have been money to the Canadian Cancer Society. I don't remember the amount. It would have been $200, $300, and then I think it was 500 to the Canadian Mental Health Association after that, and then we were able to donate. I think it was $1,000 or more to the Special Olympics with the final product, and we kind of brought it back and made some hats for the kids from the Boys and Girls Club, Whitney Pier in Cape Breton, who were going to the games. We gave them some hats after the game to have, and they were repping it around the Boys and Girls Club, and it was pretty cool to see.
Whitney Pier, that's where Frankie McDonald's from.
Yes.
You see him watch around up there?
He's buzzing around sometimes. You see him walking on the street and stuff. He's a pretty popular guy in Cape Breton.
Oh, yeah, I went to a game a few years ago. I seen him there. I didn't want to bother him though, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was your experience like playing in Charlottetown for the first time in the queue?
It was pretty cool. I remember it would have been last Christmas, or the 2 games before Christmas. I think it was the 17th, 18th of December. So it was good for me and Jake. We got to come home on the 16th, the night before the game, and we just brought all of our bags with us, and we were able to come home early and stay those extra 2 nights at home before the games. But I remember my first game was pretty cool, just taking that rookie lap in your hometown. Obviously, I was just like every other kid. I grew up watching the Rocket at a young age, and then they turned into the Islanders, and I went to all those games, and seeing some playoff games, and some of them slip your memory, but I do remember a lot of them, and they was pretty cool to watch those guys, and then playing at the Eastlink Center my whole life, just in practicing there, and then stepping onto the ice with the Islanders logos and on the other side, and just being able to match up against them. Obviously, they had a really good team. I remember I was in the starting 5, and being able to stand there beside Jake was pretty cool. That was one of my fondest memories, and we got a good picture there on the blue line for O Canada. Just both for our name bars out, and on the other side they had a lot of good players. There was Simoneau, Cormier, and Lau, and those guys. So I don't think the games ended up too hot, but I thought I played a pretty good game and solid. And then the next night I actually got the chance to score on a pass from Jack Campbell to a PEI native. He kind of took it down low and hit me out in the slot, and I think I put it top right on a 1-touch, and it was pretty cool to hear my name announced in front of there's some people cheering. I think there's a few family members and friends that were pretty excited, but it was cool for sure.
Yeah, I remember being at the game. That was definitely a privilege, and they made you do the solo lap and warm up too.
Yeah,
that must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
And we'll go back to the prestigious humanitarian award. Like, what was the whole process like? Like, did they just call you up, say that you got it, and yeah, how did that all go?
Yeah, so this was like an award that's nobody really knows who's going to get it, because a lot of it's behind the scenes work. Like, it's not like your MVP award, who's the guy who's leading the play on the ice, and it's known. But for me, it was just I knew I was being put forward for the nomination early in the year. That the Eagles, every team puts a player forward, and then I knew it was me because our business staff mentioned it to me, and it wasn't something that I set out to do. I didn't really want to, win an award or I set out to get an award or recognition. I just wanted to do it just to help, those kids and give them an opportunity it was that they wouldn't be able to get on a daily basis or go to the games on the weekend. So it was fun for me to be able to go there and play with those kids, hockey, basketball, just reading books, doing different stuff with them. It was fun for both of us. And, I brought my teammates there. And so I remember we got home probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I think it was last week or the week before that, I was just sitting in my living room, and I seen on my phone on Twitter, I got nominated for it. And, I thought it'd maybe take 2 days or 3 days for the award winner to come out. And then few texts came in saying congrats for the nomination. And then later, like probably 10 minutes later, it said I won the award when I was scrolling on Twitter again. It was kind of, I was kind of in shock, really. And, I was just really happy to see that. And not just for myself, but, since then, a lot more awareness and recognition has been brought to that charity and, what needs to be done for it. So, it was best for everyone that that award was kind of thrown in that direction. And it was, really fortunate that those kids kind of get to be a part of that. And, hopefully some stuff opens up in the future, and we're going to continue to do that stuff as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now we got a couple fan questions.
Yep.
We posted on our story for a couple people to ask you some questions. So first we have Alec_Matter asks, how do you feel about the house?
Oh, the house sucks. Mater knows that, and a bit of an inside joke.
Michael Kiley asks, what are your thoughts on Chino?
Oh, I don't know. The boys are trying to get me going here with some things, but could ask Michael the same thing.
There you go. Atlantic Puck asks, what's your favorite rink outside of Nova Scotia?
Oh, outside Nova Scotia, I'd say, favorite rink of all time, and then favorite rink probably in the queue would be two. I like playing in the Videotron. Obviously, the finals is going on there now, and you've seen the whatever it is, the 50-50 and the sold out crowds and the atmosphere. It's NHL like, and I've only played there 2 times, but it's once a year you get to go, and it was pretty special for me, and just to be in that rink and be a part of that. And favorite rink of all time is probably Simmons Arena. Growing up playing there, great rink. I loved it. Spent a lot of hours in there. A lot of early morning practices with me and my buddies, and probably too many hours to count, and a lot of memories for sure. And I know it's getting torn down now, but they're replacing it with something pretty cool too. So that'd be fun to see.
Yeah. And Brendan Murphy asks, who's your dream Fortnite duo?
Probably go with Brendan's trying to get himself a shout out here, I'm assuming. Probably go with Mr. Pockets himself, Brendan Murphy. A lot of good players, a lot of good Fortnite players around PEI. Yeah, probably Mr. Pockets.
Yeah, Pockets out. And that's everything that we have on paper.
Probably
Guess,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and we're at 34 minutes, so that's perfect. Well, you got anything else, Matthew?
No, I'll do the outro.
Yep.
All right, thanks again, Cam, for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. Fun talking to you. Had a couple good laughs. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching episode number 12 with Cam Squires. See you episode number 13.